Yeah, we do give thanks. Holy Manuel, yeah. Yes, blessed love to one and all. We give thanks for your presence with us at such an hour, a resurrection hour. Give thanks for stepping into the tiger's nest. Honorable Peace Isaac here with you. Give thanks to the voice of the Black Christ in flesh. I do definitely give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Kadamawa Haile Selassie first. In all good doings and saying, we glorify the Father and the Mother of creation, Alpha and Omega, beginning and the very end, yet still without end. As the Black Christ himself teaches us that out of Father and Mother comes all. So we're thankful for Father and Mother. Give thanks to the Black Christ himself, the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. Marcus Messiah Garvey within the elements is also exalted. The Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Church of True Divine Salvation is an organization that does stand above all organizations that stand parliamental, governmental, churchical, statical, even sabbatical. And again, we are very thankful for the heavens declare the glory of the Almighty himself in flesh, sit upon the throne, the ancient of most days. We speak of Kadamawi Haile Selassie I, who brought such an energy to I and within the light of 1966 can be clearly seen that his priest stand, who is our worthy founder and leader, Melchizedek stand, who is our God and King, the King of Salem in flesh. Again, we speak of him that laid the foundation and opened the doors, the Honorable King Emmanuel. You see, this Congress does stand for freedom, redemption, and international repatriation, and it stands to such a concept and that which is written in law and the philosophy of Marcus Messiah Garvey of 7 or 9 miles of high water ships to fulfill such as is the concept of the Congress, freedom, redemption, and let us not, underlook international repatriation. Again, blessed love to each and every one. We're going to have a wonderful evening. We will be definitely bringing in the sealing up of the 40 days and 40 nights period that as it is referred to as the Lenten period. Now let me just say, I think everyone realized that we do have a wide audience, meaning that there are many different people that tune into the mystic vibration or tune into the shock of the hour, or just come and sit into the tiger's nest, whatever the case is. And I must say that is never a problem at all. In fact, we do pride ourselves of being able to fulfill that mandate that the Emperor himself, Haile Selassie, has given to us, of that supreme tolerance of whatever different ideas, especially more so in the realms of theology and belief and these different things. But I'm just saying that tonight, I definitely will like to home in, as we have done with specific programs, to our order of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. The fact that we will be dealing with Lent, and this is the third part, the Trinity of that series that we have been doing. For sure, we would like to really seal it up this evening with a better comprehension, leaving this program with a better comprehension of the science that is really behind the Lent as it relates to the Bobo Shanti. Now, of course, we did a part one and we did a part two, and I think if it's not two or one, honestly, I haven't revisited them. But I think it's in part one, I gave a clear explanation of the link that nature has with this time of the year. It is spring. It is related to the moon. There's nothing wrong with that. It is nature. This is how we operate. That is why you celebrate your birthday. And I know some of you don't, very few of you, but I know that those of you who say you don't celebrate birthday and these different things, I know some young children who say, yeah, my daddy's a Rasta too, but we don't celebrate our birthdays. And sometimes it touched me. Why? Because I understand the science of the cycle, of the elements and the movement, specifically of the sun and the planets and the stars, and the day, the birthday, the day that you were born as such then, the born day, and the anniversary of the born day. I mean, there's a science within these days. There is, where you adjust yourself. That's why you quote unquote celebrate it, where you adjust yourself to accompany that energy flow that will be coming in on that day. So it is important for us to, I and I, to take in these days of importance. So the Lenten period, as it is referred to as, is a period that is directly connected. I often speak of, at this time, like from now on, you actually, depending on where you are in the earth, you could actually sense the difference even in the sea, even the smell of the sea, because it is a time of the earth being purged. So we are very thankful for this time, and it was a period of, as I said, the 40 day and the 40 nights fasting that is being expressed even in scripture, as Elijah went through his 40 day and his 40 night fast in scripture, and Moses on the mountain, he went through his 40 days and 40 night fast, again, scripture, and the Messiah, the Christ, went through his 40 day, 40 nights, again, scripture as well. Moses, Noah the Great, and the ark, and the earth, and the deluge, the flood, it was 40 days and 40 nights. So we see the science. I think we highlighted Michael Jackson in one of those things. Did we go? Yeah. So you could revisit, and none of those of you may have, it would have been a strength to you through the Lent, and I'm honored that I could be. I'm telling you from my heart, because I understand how it is. You know what I mean? When you need a strength, especially when you want to understand or comprehend something, especially when you're serious about the Almighty. So I'm telling you from my heart, I am honored that I could be whatever strength I could be. And I'm speaking directly, well, I'm speaking in general, but you see, like this time frame, and many ones I know internationally, taking up the art of Rastafari, I speak of this all the time, taking up the art of Bobo Shanti, and sometimes the strength they may want is not in their grasp, especially depending on where they are in the earth. So it's good that we could assist and answer some questions, at least to the best of our ability. And as I've said in other videos, we just make it clear, that this is a Congress. It is a government, parliament and cabinet and these different things. So we do give thanks. What I want to do this evening is to I want to speak, of course, to you, and I want to speak to the Black Christ with us. Because as I said, the 40 days period now, outside of any just subliminal vibration, the literal days that has gone by, you know, as it relates to the abstinence of the regular eating in whatever formation a person has kept the fast. We spoke about this earlier too. That is just one aspect of this. There is a deep theology, my brothers and sisters, that goes with this. And before we are done tonight, I want to highlight the 77th Psalm, wherein, if you want, you can even go to it now and begin to examine it even as we speak. Now you see, Bobo Shanti have some different ideas. You got to be careful with Bobo Shanti. Yeah, man, you have to be careful. You have to sit in properly and listen to when Bobo Shanti talk. Because there's some different meditations that would come around. Now, I want to present something here for you. Now, I must say, I do hope no one is going to say I be spilling too much and spilling the beans here. This is from a clip taken a few years ago. I think it's 2007. This is from a service in the headquarters, Bull Bay, Jamaica, and one of our esteemed elder leading priests, the Honorable Priest Bailey, will be culturing here. I would do say from his perspective of the crucifixion and the resurrection as it relates to this time frame. This is a resurrection service, what they refer to as Good Friday service, and let's just listen to the word sounds that the good honorable priest will be uttering here. This is very important, my brothers and sisters. Let us listen good, as of course the audio is not to the upful most.
There's like victory that he triumphs still, you know, as the Father abided with him, you know. King Emmanuel the 7th. So give thanks for the 5 leading wounds, not the man here, and Mother White Bridge, you know, by Pompal, you know. Man saying those days, you know, the sea was here, you know. Like you see, you can drive past Marcus Garvey Drive now, those were water, you know. So the sea come right up to Pompal, you know. Crucified by the seaside, you know. Now, so we give thanks for those 5 leading wounds, you know. Man said 2 in the hand, you know, 2 in the feet, you know. And the boy never satisfied, just push up them sword in the side, you know. So that, you know, it's really fast off the truth. Because it's the same man who push the sword, you know. I'm going to give him the life, then put the kill the man who give him the life, you know. So the same man who push the sword and keep that man the life, you know. So it's just that, you know, we're walking in the darkness, you know. The people are walking and them love to walk in darkness, you know. They prefer to walk in darkness, you know. They say that it's hard to carry this man burden, you know. But this man burden is light, you know. Because we put the burden on ourselves, you know, put no burden on us, you know. And them just lay the foundation and open wide the door and lay the table, safely lay the table. And he say all that is required is a clean hands and a pure heart. That is why he gave on Mother White Bridge, you know, the Black Christ, you know, shed his blood on Mother White Bridge, you know. We don't know about the other one, the White Christ. It's that them tried him on Tuesday of this week. a Spanish town out of the president. We are still St. Catherine president in that area. Because things change over and over from time to time, but in that area. And they condemn him in a Spanish town and they carry the cross from Spanish town to Mother White Bridge. History and prophecy shows him come to war theater and turn forward. And then the first sleep was a 54 Spanish town road. The Congress was established and it's went to Mother White Bridge. It was a man come out a woman's womb, if you look at it that way. And the pressure, sleep, and that was where the man Joseph, help, So, says, Simon, to help, So the man, Cyrene, So the man, because this is Maple Cemetery, It's the oldest cemetery in the western world of the diaspora. But history and prophecy show that. But white people don't record it like that. They don't emphasize those things. And the more you see Calvary Cemetery. So, Maple Cemetery is a place of skull, Galgata, So, history and prophecy, can't lie, And just the evil white world lie to us, And those who, the licky belly full of the followers, white, black, white dog oppressors, lie to us, Christ could have never lied to us, and we know that our Father, will never lie to us. Because if we believe from so far, we come down here so we come save, we come show it for our truth and right. Why would I lie to us when him down here so we do it? So we give thanks now for Father Moses and Jesus,
Now, of course, I would have to go into some detail on exactly what was said there. So that again was the words of the Honorable Priest Bailey, and he himself expressing himself as he clearly said, for those who may not have been, picking it up to the fullness. So he was speaking about the crucifixion. He was speaking about the crucifixion of Christ, speaking of where it happened. That is why I'm telling you, Bobo Shanti is a mystic thing, He's speaking of the Christ himself being crucified in Jamaica. He's speaking now, I was not born in Jamaica. I've spent some time in Jamaica, yes, but I'm not a Jamaican in the sense of anything. So a lot of what he's speaking about, I may not know. I've never been to some of these places. I want you to listen to the elder priest properly. Listen to him good. We're going to follow this, my brothers and sisters. And I want to be clear, and I want you to hear it coming from the mouth of one that sat with the black Christ. The 5 bleeding wounds that the man bear at Mother White Bridge. Now this is in Jamaica, And of course, I and I as Bobo Shanti would know this. But as I said earlier, there are many different people that we if you want to use the term, entertain, And I would like those who may not know to have a good comprehension of exactly what it is that we are spitting out. Mother White Bridge. This is in Jamaica. Let us just follow the narrative.
Man saying those days, the sea was here, Like you see, you can drive past Marcus Garvey Drive now, those are water,
He said in those days the sea was there, See, like how today you can just drive across Marcus Garvey Drive. In those days the sea was there,
Come right up to Bumper, crucified by the seaside,
They're crucified by the seaside.
So we give thanks for those 5 little ones, Man said 2 in the hand, 2 in the feet,
Interesting. We give thanks for them 5 bleeding wounds. The man said 2 in the hand, 2 in the feet. This is our elder, Elder Priest Bailey, that is uttering these words. I'm not saying nothing wrong, No. I could tell you the same story. So, in fact, I may not say it exactly the same as the elder priest, because, as you know, I am a researcher on different realms. So it just so happens that there is a well-known video, amongst I and I of this culture. Sometimes we don't take the time to listen properly. So I'm just utilizing something that is out there. But I've sat with many ones, you know that. I've sat with many of I and I that have sat with the Black Christ himself from sometimes, some of them even pass on. And I've used my own, intelligence to kind of balance out, you know, the whole, even the concept of this, the resurrection and the crucifixion, because you would still get it a bit differently from someone else, But this is Elder Priest Bailey, so I'm saying it is not as if there's something wrong with what he's saying at all, and that's not at all what I'm highlighting, But I just prefer that you hear it, at least the basic narrative. Because there's a basic narrative that's for sure what he's saying is real. There's one or two things I would really want to highlight, but his basic narrative is that's what it is. And that's the same basic narrative you get from me, but I just prefer you get it from him. Even to I and I as Bobo Shanti, I still just prefer you get it from him. If it was Priest Earl giving the same highlight, it'll be good you get it from him, because as you see, we did a video with the Honorable Priest Earl. Some of these questions actually came up, to give a clarity. You could obviously see he have a different outlook on certain things that maybe another man may not have. Nothing wrong with that, we're human beings, and this is a growth order as well, So I just prefer you get it from the priest, but let us follow on now. Don't go anywhere, So two in the hand, two in the foot, and they're never satisfied. So they push the sword up in them side.
Because it's the same man who push the sword, I'm going to give him the life, then put the kill the man who give him the life, So the same man who push the sword and give that man the life, So that's that, the work.
Now, let me be a bit clear here. Before this came on the YouTube, I had this on a DVD. And I've sat with other elders and I've played this very same speech. And for whatever reason, I've never had the time to sit with the Honorable Priest Bailey to clarify certain things. And sometimes a person may speak but may make a slip of tongue. And even some elders that I've sat with have said, yeah man, it have to be a mistake, the priest man. So he said the man that digging with the sword is the man that give him the life.
Same man who push the sword, I'm going to give him the life, then put the kill the man who give him the life, So the same man who push the sword and give that man the life, So that's that.
Couldn't kill the man that give him the life, but the same man that pushed the sword at him will give him the life.
We're walking in the darkness, The people are walking and they love to walk in darkness, They prefer to walk in darkness, They say that it's hard to carry this man burden, But this man burden is light, Because we put the burden on ourselves, we don't put no burden on us, All them just lay the foundation and open wide the door.
So he's speaking about the man's burden is light, like the order. It's not no heavy burden, it's light, It's just we put the burden on himself. All he do is lay the foundation and open up the doors. Please bear with me, this is important.
The table, safely at the table. And say all that is required is a clean hands and a pure heart. So that is why we gave on Mother White Bridge, the Black Christ, shed his blood on Mother White Bridge,
So the Black Christ shed his blood on Mother White Bridge.
You don't know about the other one, the White Christ. It's that them tried the man on Tuesday.
They tried the man on a Tuesday.
Of this week, at Spanish Town out of the prison there.
At Spanish Town, out of the prison there.
Where's the St. Catherine prison there?
Where's the St. Catherine prison there? I personally have never seen it, So I'm only speaking from that perspective. But you can see it's,
In that area, because things change over and over from time to time.
Things change over and over from time to time.
That area. And they condemn him in Spanish Town and they carry across from Spanish Town to Mother White Bridge.
So they condemn him in Spanish Town, and he carried the cross from Spanish Town to Mother White Bridge.
The strong prophet show said come to one theater and turn forward.
History and prophecy show he come to Ward Theatre and turn forward.
And then the first slip was a 54B Spanish Town Road.
Then his first slip was at 54B Spanish Town Road. And when the Honorable Priest says so, the Honorable Priest actually do a little, you know, like when you're just acting a bit to show, like, well, the kind of slippy talking, like fall down. His first slip was at 54B Spanish Town Road.
The Congress was established and it's going to Mother White Bridge.
And then the Congress was established on his way to Mother White Bridge. Now I don't know who watching this that's saying, priest, this one kind of boring tonight. This is why I began by saying, you see this one here, this is Bower Shanty business. Anybody else will be considered a guest. Nothing wrong. If it could be our brother and our sister, we love you the same, you know. But there's something I really want to put out tonight in clarity. In clarity. I hope nobody's saying, man, you don't need to. This is something that is on the YouTube, you know. This has been on the YouTube for a while. For a while. And in the same way that I don't just listen to things and, you know what I mean, watch things and just gloss over. I take time and listen. There are other people that take time and listen and would like clarity to things. The Honorable Priest Bailey said that he took the cross from St. Catherine's prison. He was condemned there. And he came to Ward Theatre and turned. And when he coming up Spanish Town Road, 54B, he slipped with the cross. He should have slipped. And he even goes as far as to say, you know what I mean, remember he's just a man that come out of the womb of the woman. So he now, that's the Honorable Priest, is justified. And I don't want to seem as if I'm going before the priest, you know. But as a sensible human being, I think my analysis is correct. I'm not even adding to his words, you know. So in all respect to such an honorable priest as who he is, but I just want to be clear that he slipped. And established the Congress. He even goes as far as to say, on his way to Mother White Bridge. Yeah, do give thanks. Holy Manuel Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Give thanks. Give thanks. Sometimes I'm condemned or, you know, ridiculed. People say things about me because of the approach that I take to theology. You know, people say I'm too symbolic, too much esoteric. Everything have to have a meaning. Just take it for what it is. Yeah, just follow the script. You ask too much questions. Well, they ask too much questions, you know. That was a time ago. Nobody tell me that now. Because I've found the answers. I would not call any name, but I've sat with priests that tell me, Priest Bailey don't know what he's saying. I have sat with priests that said, Priest Bailey does not know what he's saying. I'm sorry to be so passionate, you know what I mean? Because Priest Bailey know exactly what he's saying. I'm sure you've seen the video. There's a video out there with the Black Christ in flesh, you know, in his holy robes and his garment. I was in his robe, basically. And he was being interviewed by a sister. And, you know what I mean, after they were rocking and they were singing, you can have a little talk with Jesus. You can tell him all about your troubles. And you see Priest Bailey was standing there, and Priest Bailey, I think he did something with the rod. He either turned the rod around or something, something was going on there. But Priest Bailey was right there, clapping along. I'm not just saying because he's right there. I mean, other people are right there too, you know, even some of the ones that say, you know what I mean, what I say, you know, they're right there as well. So, you know, it's not a right there thing, but I'm just trying to show you that you have to consider what a man is saying. I don't think the honorable priest gonna just make up them story there. That sound like something way off, you know, man. That narrative. Now, let me just say the narrative. Please listen to me. This is very important. The narrative itself of I Bobo Shanti as it relates to the order of King Emmanuel and the resurrection, the crucifixion and the resurrection. That narrative itself is that the Christ bore 5 bleeding wounds for the people in Egypt, Jamaica. That's very important. In Egypt, Jamaica. There's also a scripture, you know, I like to highlight sometimes that says that even in Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. Interesting. And you know why I like to highlight that? Because many ones as well that says, you know what I mean, too much symbolism. So, okay, too much symbolism. All right, too much symbolism. So when the Bible refers to Egypt as the ground where our Lord was crucified, what we talking? Literal there? Because there's a Egypt, you know, in Northeast Africa. Is it there that our Lord was crucified? All right. Now hear me. The crucifixion of this Christ now in Egypt, Jamaica. And this is serious, you know, because amongst some, it is said that this was 2,000 years ago. And then amongst some, this is said to have happened in recent times. I think one of the main things is humility. I'm very honest. Yeah, trust me. I know what I'm talking about. We have a very bad attitude. You know what I mean? Like, I know what I'm talking about. We have a bad attitude. We don't want to hear what certain people say. Like, nah, he ain't good enough or she's not good enough to tell me nothing. And we got to look into this, because there are a lot of things that need explanation. There are a lot of things that need a clarity. Honorable Priest Bailey obviously was saying something that he would have learned more than likely from the Black Christ himself. As far as the crucifixion, you have heard me bring that towards Priest Earl. Priest Earl, in the documentary that we put on the YouTube, goes into crucifixion of different formats and different formation, and I must say in that interview, although it was so wonderful, maybe it was the timing and so many things happened and different ones came in and it went a different way, but it was perfect, don't get me wrong at all. So we never really hit on the head, from my analysis, on the head, the crucifixion of specifically the man called Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards. I think that's very important. When we speak to the Honorable Priest Zebulon, the same interview that we did with him, you can find that on YouTube as well. He brings up the same 1958 when the Congress was established. Please listen to me. Priest Zebulon, Priest Zebi, brings up the situation in 1958. So again, you can go and revisit these interviews with me, Priest Zebulon, myself, and Priest Earl. In fact, I did an episode entitled, Where is Prince Emmanuel Now? Worth revisiting. I even did one entitled The Crucifixion and the Resurrection of Prince Emmanuel. Worth revisiting. This is a very emotional thing for me, and as simple as it seems. Trust me. You see, when I came into Rastafari, I didn't just come in smoking herb or locks up or vibes or nothing. I was seriously seeking the Almighty God. And my heart is still as zealous as that time, as it relates to the Most High. So it's not a joke thing, and it's vast, but yet still it's simple and narrow and just straight to the point. So that 1958, please follow me, event, according to Priest Zebulon, it is said that when the ambulance came to pick up Prince Emmanuel after the beating, because 1958 now is the first Nyabingi that ever called in Jamaica. And it's interesting that we tend to leave all of this out of history, but then again, we did an episode entitled Semenkare. Semenkare. As you can see, we ain't got nothing here monetized, so we ain't running down no views, but the views are low on Semenkare. He who is often forgotten. If you really want to get the thing and check, you need to watch Semenkare. It's right on YouTube, just Semenkare. He who is often forgotten, not too hard to find. So we already highlighted that issue, that part of it that we tend to want to overlook. The first Nyabingi, the Honorable Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards, the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. And then when we look into the whole aspect of not just the first, as the Honorable Priest was saying to us, Priest Corti, Priest Fligo, the Honorable Priest Fligo, obviously the longest Nyabingi ever, 2 years. 2 years. Who is the Grand Master here? 2 years. Yeah, give thanks. So after receiving such a beating, when the ambulance came and they put him in the ambulance carried him to the morgue, not to the hospital, to the dead house, to the morgue, And on arrival at the morgue, when they opened it, King Emmanuel was sitting down in sweat and blood. And as in many cases, them that open the door flee and run away. There's enough of that happening, you know. Enough flee and run away. This is what priest Zebulon bring up when we ask about the crucifixion. Interesting. Follow me now, man. This is what priest Zebulon bring up when we talk about the crucifixion. He talk about 1958. Because that for sure was a brutal crucifixion. Alongside the Carroll Gardens of 1967 it is. And we even highlighted, is it 67? 63. But we highlighted the Carroll Garden massacre in one of our episodes. I think it's the crucifixion and the resurrection. We went through the Carroll Gardens massacre in depths and showed, I think it's 63, yeah, and showed the connection with that, even at this time, this same Good Friday time. I think we did it for Good Friday too, isn't it? For the resurrection, yeah. So you can always go and revisit that as well and see how Carroll Gardens, the massacre, is connected to the crucifixion and the resurrection of Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards. Because some of our elders, the Honorable Priest Bob that has made a transition, clearly says that this crucifixion is not 2,000 years ago. It happened in the 60s. There were the priest Garth, the elder, tell me clearly to my face he can carry me and show me the tree that they hung the Christ on. Some man said them is blasphemy. As far as hanging people, the Bobo Shanti philosophy is, I know all of this is strange to some people, eh? The Bobo Shanti philosophy is that they hung the Christ on a Tuesday and he never died. Can you imagine that? They hung the Christ on a Tuesday and he never died. And according to the law, when you hang a man and he don't die, you're supposed to let the man go. Let me stop right there for a moment. Because that alone carry, when you hang a man and that ain't nothing. That's nothing. There's a video again that you can find on the internet. A video about Shaolin Temple. About the training of the young warriors at the Shaolin Temple. And these young children, 7, 5, 8, 9 years of age, already master the technique of hanging themselves. Literally, you see it on the video. They put the rope around their neck like anybody, and then they put themselves in the lotus position, sitting down, and they literally suspend themselves. And obviously some can do it for a longer period than some, and it takes some sort of practice. But, and I don't know if, again, when you listen to those other documentaries, you'll get it. I hope you have, because you may think for one reason or the other. You know, you may have missed it, but Prince Emmanuel ain't no ragdoll. The Honorable King Emmanuel ain't no little pushover, man. We're talking about the high scientists on many different levels, man. On all cosmic corners, the diffuser of bombs that he never touched. What are you talking about? The opener of the skies and the bringer of the showers, and the caller of the thunder and the lightning, and and he who summons the earthquake. I'm talking about Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards, you know. And I only say Prince Emmanuel sometimes just for clarity, and King Emmanuel sometimes for more clarity. And as one of my elders would advise, Emperor Emmanuel to bring down the house. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm speaking of. So again, when the Honorable Priest Bailey now is saying that the Black Christ carried this cross from St. Catherine's prison, and then he slept at 54B Spanish Town Road. Then he established the Congress. How long you take him to do that? What are you talking about? You carrying a cross. Remember he saying, he himself giving the story, that they tried him on a Tuesday and then they hung him, and I don't think he said he didn't die and so, but he was put in the tomb the Wednesday after the crucifixion because he didn't die with the hanging, etc., etc. Okay, so we go into that process. So the Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere between there, Tuesday, Wednesday, he carrying the cross, war theater, and he turned and he reached 54B Spanish Town Road, and then he dropped down because he's just a man, according to the priest, come out of the womb of a woman, And whatever narrative the Honorable Priest carrying now, I'm being a psychologist here, whatever narrative he following and whatever he reciting here, that's his additive. He just put in that part. He's just a man and so and so and so. Because he slipped at 54B Spanish Town Road. For those who may not know, again, 54B Spanish Town Road is the foundation of our Congress. 1958, the 1st of March. From the 1st to the 21st of March, three strongs or 3 weeks as they call it, of Nyabingi, fasting and praying. And it was brought to an abrupt end with some serious brutality by the forces of Jamaica of the day. A crucifixion. They thought he was dead. They threw him in the ambulance to carry him to the morgue, man. He dead. He dead. And it was Rex Nettleford, not just any old body, who made that statement as it refers to the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards that the Honorable Priest Zebulon was repeating. So when Priest Bailey said that Prince Emmanuel slipped at 54B Spanish Town Road, Baba Shanti, please listen to me. They have 6 other priests on the altar with the king there. I see some man talking to one, I don't know if they say what he said, I don't know. Because he said the man slipped. He slipped with the cross. And then he established. Man, when he says so, I see some kind of story, some fairy tale story in my head, like he gonna spring, drop them, You know what that sound to me? That sound like the stories that you read of Vishnu and Krishna. It's them kind of things they do. The man go away for one and buildings form on the mountainside. A kingdom was established and then he passed on. And when he came to an abandoned city, he saw some peasants there. And he told them to get a branch of neem and a branch of chamomile flower. And he mixed it with some honey. And he threw it in the wind. And then the rain came. And then crops of corn grew right away. There is some story I read already. Crops of corn grew right away within the hour. Wow. He slipped with the cross, must say. And he established the Congress. When the Congress established, 1958, how long that take, man? That was a 21-day affair. That was a 21-day affair. And when I asked Priest Zebulon about the crucifixion of Christ, that's the event that he bring up. And in Honorable Priest Bailey's rendition, he made key mention of that event in some esoteric ways. Who is denying me? Honorable Priest Bailey say King Emmanuel slept with the cross and established the Congress on his way to Mother White Bridge. To get crucified. Now the fact that that is more than what is being said. Nobody can deny this, you know. No one, no Bubba Shanty, nobody, no feel no way, no. Please don't feel no way. I know sometimes, to be honest, to be very honest, I mean straight here, I ain't editing nothing, to be honest. Sometimes, you know, the passion does really get me, I must say, in our reality. And as man, you know, we all have things we have to work on. You know, but the passion does come because we just play around and we just act as if we don't see and we don't hear. Who can deny me? Unless you're telling me, well, as some priests would say, Priest Bailey, make up that. The man don't make up nothing. That sounds right and correct to me, but you just don't understand what he's saying. And no disrespect to Priest Bailey, but do he understand me? See, that's a deep vibe. That's esoteric. So then you have to take into consideration two in the hand and two in the feet and one in the side. And the man that dig him is the man that give him life. You have to think about all them things now. Because he's repeating something. I mean, a Bible priest will tell you all kind of thing. A man will tell you the baker hide the Bible. You're like, what? The baker hide the Bible? Where you get that from? Prince Emmanuel. Figure it out. Yeah. Right. So I'm just saying, hey, this is something else in the man. Listen, we have to get a little more serious, man. Come on, man. I don't want to go into nothing too extreme. It done none, man. Priest Harris done tell me. The Black Christ say, you know, man. The Black Priest Harris already tell me. Priest Harris is the man that any seasoned Bubba will know. Priest Harris is the man that said, King Emmanuel, tell him, if we have 10 more men like him, we win the redemption. If we have 10 more men like he, Priest Harris. So, Priest Harris say, Black Christ say, great man gonna come amongst us. You see, I always hear Bubba saying, you know, King Emmanuel said doctors going to come amongst us, great doctors. I always speak of that, especially in the early days. You know, I don't hear them push that one too much now. Straight up. Great doctors going to come amongst us. You know, they have great doctors amongst us. They have great doctors amongst us. I talk about this already. They have great doctors amongst us. I love him with all my heart, but I don't mean Dr. Same. I'm talking Bubba Shandy Rastafari, the Honorable Priest Kailash Leons. We have doctors amongst us. So what do you think Prince Emmanuel was talking about? Who you think he was talking about? Dr. Cliff Huxtable? We have doctors amongst us. Priest Harris say, and man that can read the stars. So I honestly, from my heart, does be very, very disgusted at this pretend game that a lot of us like to play. This is going to sound like a little off the wall, you know. But let's just say it all here, man. So you have Priest Abuna Emmanuel and you have Priest Jesus Emmanuel. I say what I have to say. I just want to say. I'm going too deep in it, but I know what I say. Don't get worried. Don't get worried. Don't get worried, Jack. I know what I'm saying. And everybody have their own little ideology. Nothing wrong. Jesus Emmanuel have his own outlook on things. And some people may agree and disagree. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you may know him personally and say, boy, yeah. But I just find it interesting that the offspring of the emperor, when the grandson come around, I mean, it's banquet and celebration. No matter where he go and we did, we give him the top honors. Well deserved, of course. And when Marcus Messiah Garvey's offspring, Julius Garvey, you know, man, come around, I mean, it's the highest of honors and respect that he get. And the Honorable King Emmanuel have offsprings too, and I will just leave it at that because I don't have to go no more. But all I'm saying is this. No, this is, don't get me wrong, listen to me good, you know. As I said, them is human beings. Marcus Messiah Garvey's son, you know, Julius Garvey, from the best of my knowledge, is married to a non-African woman, you know, man. I respect the man. The man is married to a non-African woman, and I would not take his glory away from him because of that. But obviously there are realms that we have to enter into that must be taken into consideration depending on how far we go in with, you know, I mean, you just have to, there are realms. There may be some distant realms, but they are realms. I mean, they are realms that we have to go in. This is something that his very father speaks against. This is something that the Black Christ, you can't be a member of the Congress and be mixed race with another individual. It doesn't have nothing to do with hatred for no one. It's just not supposed to happen, according to King Emmanuel, if that's what you're following, order and his standards, you know. So I'm just saying that to say that they're not being honored because they are perfect. They're just being honored because of who they are, and there's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. So I see a contrast difference sometimes. That's all I'm saying. And it's just something to look into. I know many ones will disagree with that. And obviously something to balance, because I mean personally, you know, I would say for sure that we look, and just like the Black Christ look on all of us as his children, that is how I would look on all of us too, as the same. Still considering who is who, obvious, but still as the same. So not because you hold any of them position there mean that you're gonna turn the Black Christ order inside out. I'll be the first to draw the sword. But anyway, I'm just saying now, this day, the resurrection, has a lot of meaning. And why I went through all of that ranting, if you want to call it that, is because I want to emphasize that there's a strong symbolic essence in this, and there's a heavy symbolic and yes, esoteric and metaphysic vibration around King Emmanuel order. There's a lot of things that Prince Emmanuel speak that a lot of us hold in a kind of manner that we should not. For example, when we reach to Zion, we go eat bigger fish. Man have to check themselves. Man have to check themselves and understand. There's a science, and when it comes to eating anything, like this Lenten fast, if you can't take a big bite, take a small bite. That is how he has always portrayed the vibration. So we gotta be skillful with the understanding of this. I always put this in relationship to the 10th of December that I've spoken about. And on the 10th of December, which is the rising of Orion, the constellation of Orion, 1993, the Honorable King Emmanuel had a feast, called for a feast, which he referred to as the Feast of the Passover. And if I'm not mistaken, we did an episode entitled Passover, and that is on the YouTube as well. That can be revisited. You should. where you should revisit that. I think we go into the 10th of December somewhat in that one, you know. But the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards brought forward a feast, the Feast of the Passover. And, you know, it was an interesting feast. I think I've gone through that too, and I'm not going to go through that aspect of the feast here because that will take more than the time that I'm trying to allot myself even to fulfill this. But the feast itself, please pardon me. But the feast itself, the 10th of December 1993, the Honorable Black Christ sent for delegations internationally, wherever Baba Shanti was, and said that he wanted ones to come in because he was looking to make a move. This is 1993. Now in 1994, he did make a move. And that's why many ones would refer to it as the Black Christ make a move. Now again, in these episodes that I mentioned before, I really went into detail in more than just one of them. I really went into detail as it relates to what I'm speaking of. So I don't think I should even try to chunk out a half an hour to break that down to the fullness. But yes, there was a feast. And he clearly said that he's looking to make a move in that feast that he gave. And that he would like the delegations to come. And many people was invited, and the 10th of December again, which is in the cosmic, the rising of the constellation of Orion. And it is also the Declaration of Human Rights Day as well. On that day, that feast went forward. On the 31st of May, Samenkare, on the 31st of May, which interestingly was a Tuesday. Let us return to the narrative. So they say that he was tried and convicted the same Tuesday, and crucifixion, the crucifixion the Tuesday, and put into the Wednesday. So it was the Tuesday, the 31st of May, 1994. This is the day that has been credited as the day when, as a Baba Shanti would say, the Honorable King Emmanuel laid down his structure. And that day now would lead to the Friday, and of course we spoke of that event too, the very Friday when the service was taking place. The Honorable Priest Earl carried up that service, and when they were putting the casket, no, not even then, when they were digging and they put it in and they were covering such a casket, the whirlwind came out of the hole that was dug, that covered all of Bulbi, and no one could see. One had to cover their eyes. And as I said before, the testimony of this came from many. Now, even that, again, I know we went into that in detail. And just like the feast, I'm not going to spend time on none of these dynamics. That within itself is a dynamic. And I know tarrying that conversation and getting more into that event would really move someone, towards a better understanding. But if you're really seeking it, as I said, there are other episodes that we deal directly with each of these things that we are somewhat skipping over. Somewhat. Because even in our little narrative, there's some clarity that you can get. So this 31st of May now, that's where I want to stick on. The 31st of May. You know, interesting day. One said that that day, when the word went out through the camp, ones were leaving right away. Ones got sick right away. Many ones just began to vomit. Right away. I've always inquired. I'm almost done, you know. I've always inquired of the elders, what was the psalm of that morning? Because times have changed different things and even certain things, but what was the psalms of the morning? And these 70 psalms, from the 72 specifically, 77, these 70 psalms always come up because some actually pride themselves in remembering the fact that them was the psalms that read the morning, the 70 psalms, the psalms that are in the 70s. Some even clarify that it was Psalm 72 to, I think, would be Psalm 79, because you know 7 psalms read in the morning, but it was the 70 psalms. And why would someone highlight this is because, you know, 7, King Emmanuel the 7th, and the power of 7 and 7 being the number of the Christ and all of these different things. For those who do not know, Boba Shandy would read 7 psalms every morning, 7 psalms at the noonday, and 7 psalms at the dawn setting in a service order at the tabernacle. And the 7 psalms in the morning would go before the morning devotion. So Psalm 77 would be one of these psalms that was read the morning, the same morning of the 31st of May 1994, if that which was said by the elders is correct. This is Psalm 77, read the morning. And remember, you know, the Psalms is like a clock. This was put in motion by the said Black Christ King Emmanuel. And sometimes if you don't live it, you may not see it, but sometimes the Psalms of the day would just align with some things that are just going on. Now, this is not the Ethiopian Orthodox, no disrespect, Psalm of the day. You know. These are 21 Psalms that rotate in a specific sort of clockwork atmosphere. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like what you would call them, the thing like the rotary symbol. It's not coming to my head right now. But anyway, Psalms 77. Continuing reading of that Psalm of mighty King David, the first verse continuing. I cried unto God, pardon me, with my voice, even unto God with my voice, and he gave ear unto me. In the day of my trouble, I sought the Lord. Now, that first verse is the title of the psalm, you know, man. He's showing you, he cried unto God, and God listened to him. All right. It has to be, because listen to the second verse. Now he's telling the whole story. In the day of my trouble, I saw the Lord. Okay. I sought the Lord. My soul ran in the night and ceased not. And he gave ear unto you. No, my soul refused to be comforted. I remembered God and was troubled. I complained and my spirit was overwhelmed. Selah, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, the holiest, mine eyes waking. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. I have considered the days of old, the years of ancient times. I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with my own heart, and my spirit made diligent search. Will the Lord cast off forever? And will he be favorable no more? Is his mercy clean gone forever? Doeth his promise fail forevermore? Hath God forgotten to be gracious? Hath he in anger shut up his tender mercies? Selah, Selassie, Jah. Rastafari. Where are we? Hold on, where are we? Follow the Psalms good enough. The brother is in trouble here. This is one of them Psalms that I think David wrote when he was maybe in the cave, you know what I mean, and running from Saul and them things there, or maybe Absalom. And in the day of my trouble I sought the Lord. So his soul ran in the night. Follow me good. My soul refused to be comforted. Listen to the words that have been used. I remember God and was troubled. He remembered God and was troubled. I complained and my spirit was overwhelmed with Selah, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Thou holdest mine eyes waking. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. I have considered the days of old, the years of ancient times. I call to remembrance my song in the night. I commune with mine own heart, and my spirit made diligent search. Will the Lord cast off forever? Now listen, you would have to understand the psychological state at that time. We're talking about 1994. The Congress has been established on the hill since 1970. And then from 1958 and even before that. And they have I and I that have been trodden with the Black Christ from since them times there. We're planning freedom and redemption and repatriation. Going to Africa and 7 and 9 miles and this and that. Even while this is going on, man writing pamphlet and looking for things to happen in the earth and what we plan and what we don't plan and what we're doing for this Sabbath and next celebration that coming up and so and so and so and so. And then all of a sudden, everything stopped. Everything stopped. That's why the psalmist says that he's considering the days of old. That's why he's so troubled that he cannot speak. This is why he remembered God and was troubled because he remembered God. I called to remembrance my song in the night. Will the Lord cast off forever? Listen to this. Will he be favorable no more? Is his mercy clean gone forever? This is the psalm read in the morning, you know. Listen to this part. Doth his promise fail forevermore? Because remember, many man done doubting, you know. Enough man turn back and never come back since that time, you know. Man taking off the turban while they're going out the gate. I only relaying it to you the way that I got it, eh? Man vomiting, sick, can't move, fever. What's going on here? Remember, this is the man that bring the whirlwind, you know, man. Bring the whirlwind at the burial, and we went through in some episode the depths of all of this and that. Ain't nothing strange. People die and people get sick. Ooh, this ain't no a one-off event. There are enough people that go through that transition and people drop down dead next to them. Even in your Bible, it says that when Christ was crucified, thousands died at the same time. My brothers and sisters, man, you don't feel no way now. And I'm not here to disrespect no one. But I know the power of sacrifice, man. Do you know that Rwanda, right now they're celebrating the anniversary of that great massacre, genocide that took place in Rwanda? Do you know when that took place? It took place now. It took place at such a time. This is April and we're going into May. The massacre lasted 100 days. 800,000 people were slaughtered. Almost 1 million. 800,000 of us were slaughtered. How many licks does it take to reach to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop. You see the owl, you remember that commercial? 1, 2, 3 licks. Because remember, it was licks in man that were killing the people in Rwanda. Machetes and cutlasses. 800,000 of us slaughtered, man, by the hands of us, but instigated by another. Do you know it was during the heights of that the Black Christ made his move? It was at the heights of the genocide in Rwanda, where 8, and remember 8 is the number that represents the R. We covered this in the documentary 7-8, the number of Allah, and when you turn the 8 around. Do you know on the 31st of May that the genocide in Rwanda, that was headlines for the day, was at its heights, the same time the Black Christ moved out? Where did he go? Rwanda's flag is a red and a gold and a green flag. Rwanda's flag has an R in the center of the flag. And for those who may not know, the Bobo Shanti flag is a bit different. It's a red, gold, and green flag with the red up, with the lion crown head symbol, with the black 5-point star like Ghana and the symbols that go with it, and with an R like Rwanda and the symbols that go with it. So I'm just saying that this is more than meets the eye. The country with the R in its flag, the red, gold, and green too. The massacre at its highest point, and the Black Christ step out. This ain't no simple thing. And this ain't no easy man that you're dealing with. So the psalm for the morning: had God forgotten to be gracious? Hath he in his anger shut up his tender mercies? Selah, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. This psalm has 20 verses. And at the 10th verse, which is the center verse, if you study the psalm, you could see the psalm makes a change right away. For example, at the beginning of the psalmist is basically speaking of himself. I said, this is my infirmities. He's saying, I am so troubled. I commune with mine own heart. Hear that, I commune with mine own heart. I call to remembrance my song. There's a lot of my and a lot of I in the first 10 verses of this psalm. You see maybe 1 or 2 Lord and God. But then after the 10th verse, he's going to say something, and it changes the whole picture of the psalms. And then he's going to lessen his use of I and my and me, and you're going to get a lot more of Lord and God. It's very mystic, because halfway through the psalm, he realizes that this ain't about me. Let me tell you what I got to do. So I'm going to read from the 9th verse and go into the 10th verse, which is the center verse. Hath God forgotten to be gracious? Hath he in anger shut up his tender mercies? Selah, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. And I said, this is my infirmity, but I will remember. Listen to this, man. This is the center verse. This is the verse in the middle of the psalm. Psalm 77, the middle of the psalms. 2 7s clash. 77 key psalms. Read the morning when the Black Christ. Yes, don't be ashamed. We already covered this too. We're not in no spooky vibes. This ain't no spooky religion. This is real theology. When the Black Christ, according to what the witnesses have reported to us, laid out his structure. According to what the witnesses have reported to us. 'Cause I didn't see nothing like that. But according to what the witnesses have reported to us. On that same morning, the 31st of May, keep in mind what's kicking up in Rwanda. 800,000 getting slaughtered. The 8 is the R. And the R in the flag. Let's remember all of this. This is my infirmity. But I will remember. Sure. But I will remember the center verse, you know. I know you're saying, oh, get to it. Listen. Me just lock off and let me take my time. But I will remember the years of the right hand of the Most High, Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah Rastafari. What are the years of the right hand of the Most High? Without beating around the bush, it's 80 years. From 1914 to 1994 is 80 years. In fact, according to the book, the Black Christ Unveiled, the Earth Day, of which I have spoken of in the episode Lalibela, and I want you to understand this in my perspective, no disrespect to the author at all, because I've already given my high regards for the work that she has done, but yet still, I wouldn't say it's a far gone conclusion that the Earth Day of the Black Christ is the 31st of May. No disrespect. I've already explained why the documentary or the episode Lalibela is there on the YouTube channel. Check it out. But what I'm saying, in all due respect to her research, to her research, the 31st of May 1914 to the 31st of May 1994 is exactly to the very moment or the day. 80 years. 80 years. 8,000 people a day get slaughtered. Over 100 days. 800,000. 800,000, the R, the 8 is the R. Rwanda with the R in the flag. The same day, the 31st of May. 80 years, the 8. And we're dealing with maths time. The 100 is still, the tens and hundreds, because this is the 10th verse. If we're going to do maths, the 10th verse. I will remember the years. The psalm was read the morning, all mine will feel away, I have to drive them point home. I will remember the years, man. This means something to me, This is my father I talking to you about, So if you don't feel how I feel, I'm sorry. But this is how I feel. I will remember the years. The Black Christ, the right hand of the Most High. Then he goes on to say, let's hurry up. These people like they're ready to go to bed. I will remember the works of the Lord. See, we gone into now. He will remember the works of the Lord. The psalm read the morning Rasta. I will remember the works of the Lord. Remember the first part of the psalm. He wrestling with himself. Man, what going on? So weird. He gone for true. He forget us. So weird. All them plan. So what gonna happen now? So weird. Me not understand this. But this is my infirmity. You know what go on? I will remember the years of the Most High. The man say he making a move since last year, 10th of December. You forget. 10th. I will remember the works of the Lord. Surely I will remember thy wonders of old. Remember when the officer took the baton and beat himself in your presence. I will remember your wonders of old. I was there when I opened the gate and Haile Selassie was present on that special visit. I will remember your wonders of old. Priest Robbie, the barrel full of rice and the barrel full of wheat, and we cook the pot and the rice, and everybody eat, and when I look, it's as if no food come out of the pot, and it's the black rice, tell me to black a specific psalms over it. I would remember thy wonders of old. Priest Akil, we working on the tabernacle outside. And when the gate open, there's a sound the gate make. You hear when the gate open and close. And one day all of us working, and nobody hear no gate open and close. And when we look up, the black guy is just there standing up. And just a few moments ago, we saw him on the balcony. The mathematics. I will remember thy wonders of old. I will meditate also on thy works, and talk of thy doings. So don't stop me. Thy way. This is like the bonus point here. Thy way, O God, is in the sanctuary. That's the tabernacle, the place where the praises go up. That's where you can find God now. Thy way, O God, is in the sanctuary. Who is so great a God as our God? Thou art, see all the God coming in here, it's not me now and I feel and nothing. No. Thou art the God that does wonders. Thou hast declared thy strength among the people. Thou hast with thine arm redeemed thy people, the sons of Jacob and Joseph, Selah, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. The waters saw thee, O God. The waters saw thee. They were afraid. The depths were also troubled. The clouds poured out water. The sky sent out the sound. Thine arrows also went abroad, and many can give testimony to you. The voice of thy thunder was in the heaven. The lightnings enlightened the world. The earth trembled and shook. Thy way is in the sea, and thy path in the great waters, and thy footsteps are not known. Thou leadest thy people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron. Interesting way to conclude that psalm. Kedas Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Thou lettest, past tense, no man, gone now. Thou lettest. This is how it done. Repeating the 20th and final verse of the 77th Psalm, Rastafari. Thou leddest. Since when God led us, God not always leading. This is something being expressed here. The 77th Psalm, Ras. The morning of the 31st of May, 1994. '88th rope in the pyramid. Or 80 solar years in the 35th row of the pyramid, pardon me. 80 solar years in the 35th row of the pyramid, and the 35th year of the Congress, and the 80th year. Thou leddest thy people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron. Holy Emmanuel, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari. Heart of celebration. Heart of resurrection. I can't explain everything out of my heart, but I think I've said enough because I said plenty. May sound jumble up, may sound concise as such, but you're supposed to be able to take from it, especially to the Bobo Shanti. For those who may not be of the Congress or do not lead towards this philosophy, obviously a lot of things may sound a bit off, may even sound disturbing, I hope not, to some. But don't let it be. This is the order that we have been taught, and as I said, it is from a low land to higher land. I'm not going to spend no more time. I'm just very thankful for your presence. I would just remind everyone, don't forget the Cosmic Series. The Cosmic Series, as simple as it may sound, would unravel even more of even what we are even touching upon here in the next level. So when you come to them levels here, you can easily pass through. That is why Priest Bailey saying that the Black Christ slip with the cross and establish and pick up the cross and move on. That never phased I and I. To be honest, from the first time I heard it, I said, wow, this is deep. But I purposely didn't teach it to no one. I purposely asked ones what they think about what he's saying. And almost everyone say, boy, I mean about that, you know. And some even get a bit harsh. So, boy, anyway, I would say all of that. I give thanks, at least. Who don't want to accept it, I ain't begging nobody to listen to it either. Because I listen to myself. But then, the God in I. So maybe it's the God in you listen to me, I don't know. Because obviously, his ways are in the sanctuary now. So man gaze into the sky and looking, man. He can be found in the sanctuary. Yeah, Naya Bingyada, man to clapping and singing. Death and mourning in the heart of Rome. So at this time we see Pope Francis, as we did the program just a few evenings ago, Pope Francis bowing to the Black Sudanese people, the father and mother of creation, black like turban, black and more people, bowing to them. And then in Paris, France, Pope Francis bowing in Paris, France. Pope France, what we say? France and Francis. I'm going. Pope Francis and France. I just kind of tricking with the word. But mystically, you know, do you know it is my son that showed me that? My son, Honorable Prince Anna Massey, that said, I'm going to check this out. Pope Francis and Notre Dame de Fire in Paris, France. And I said, wow, give thanks, my Lord. So that's credited to him. Nothing's credited to him too, you know. Yeah, man. And the Honorable Princess, you know what I mean? Yeah, for what they thought, it is my prince that highlighted to let me see one of the princess. I think it's the prince that highlighted to Harvey and Garvey when it came out and the date and everything. I said, yeah. Family, give thanks, man. And I know at some point, I know when I revisit this, I would say to myself, you know, as I said, sometimes the passion get into I as it relates to certain things. You know what I mean? Important issues and so on, things and so on. It doesn't really get into I, you know, but it's just a passion of love, that's all. And it's good. And I'm thankful again to all those, you know, internationally. Give thanks to all the loved ones. Again, give thanks to Honorable Priest Bailey, Honorable Priest Earl, you know, the great interview that was done for us, bringing us into the Lent, the Honorable Priest Filigo, his blessed family, you know, the Honorable Priest Shimran. Give thanks to such a mighty warrior in the earth, Honorable Priest Shimran I'm speaking of, you know, internationally as well. Them is the kind of warriors that I as a young man should be, like the Honorable Priest, you know, who would, do what he do internationally and go. Remember, I have the record there, man. He's a man that moved the earth and rise, man. So give thanks, you know, Honorable Priest Courtney, who also blessed us with such, you know, an interview. And you know, you have to remember even ones at the headquarters that have been keeping up such, you know, ones that of I and I as Bobby Shanti, even if you do a little praying and do a little thing, you know what I mean, if you're not, you know, at the helm, keeping up the heavens, you have to give a certain level of respect to those who, you know, are royal guards and, you know, the Honorable Priest Morgan and man that be keeping up morning devotion for how long, non-stop, even if it's not them alone, you know. Give thanks to Priest Neil and Priest Paul and Honorable Priest Chris, Priest Joshua Nunn and all ones, Priest Donovan, ones on the headquarters, you know, Priest Archibald and, you know, of course, the You know, I know who I seen in my head when name Honorable Priest Wayne, you know, give thanks for all glory and majesty, you know. The Honorable Priest Garth, you know, and all elders of the Congress too. You know, as I said, you know, I mean, even the empresses, Empress Mama Rachel, of course, and you know, Empress Phyllis and Empress Sharon, give thanks. You know, all ones you can't be calling names forever and ever, but it's give thanks for remembrance of Mama Julie and even the Honorable Priest Bob from such time. So we give thanks for all ones that keep up a strength, you know, and do what is right internationally as well. Thanks to the honorable ones in Ethiopia keeping up a strength. Honorable Priest Paul, I can't remember his Ethiopian name, but Abu or something, but give thanks to the Honorable Priest still that keeping up such a strength. The Honorable Priest Gabriel and the Honorable Priest Kevan that keeping up a strength as well in Ethiopia, and even reaching out to them, man. I was trying to return a link to them, but I totally lost that. But you know, in the right spirit, that will come again, you know, and even give thanks to the ones that are keeping the strength even in England, Priest Janaya, and of course, all the priests from such place, all ones of power and the empresses as well. Honorable Prophet, I don't know if Prophet or priest at this time, priest or Prophet, I hope I am not mistaken, Jimmy, you know, and Prophet Mosai, you know, the Honorable Priest Adigan, you know, such an ancient priest, you know. And yeah, give thanks to all ones, you know, the brothers and sisters in America, the United States, in Miami, you know. Must talk of Honorable Priest Merle, the best days, and, you know, and give thanks to Honorable Priest Jermaine, you know what I mean? Well, I can't say Priest Jermaine and forget Honorable Priest Jermaine, you know, at the headquarters are in Jamaica still, but I mean, Honorable Priest Jermaine Jakasha and all these ones, you know, just showing enough love internationally, you know, for all works that is being done. Priest Igo, Priest Danny, you know, all such, you know. Give thanks, Honorable Priest Jesus, you know, Honorable Abuna Emmanuel internationally as well. And those who have carried the Congress works afar and afield, you know, brothers and sisters in Chile, those that have rise standard in Brazil, Costa Rica and Belize and them different places there. We give thanks, you know, a special heart of love and a different kind of love, you know. It's not a real ordinary love, it's a special different love, you know, for the household of the Honorable Priest K. Ashley Hans and his family, and you know what I mean. You know, yeah. I gotta look at the cut out the camera now if and see water springing. But just give thanks, you know, because this is a very serious time, this resurrection moment. You know what I mean? It's very important that we go that heart of love internationally. Kes Westmore, give thanks for the love. Priest Kerry and Empress Chanel, you know, give thanks for the love as well. You know, give thanks for all the brothers and brethren and sisters even in St. Lucia. Them is some mighty warriors, you know, internationally. They have put St. Lucia on the map as it relates to the Congress, you know, so you can never forget them. Although I've been linked with some in a while, sometimes I never really even know one status, you know, but you know, so if I say prophet and his priest, please don't be disrespected. Prophet Alem and one of, you know, more intelligent amongst I and I, Prophet Alem and Honorable Prophet Manai, you know what I mean, Honorable Garvey Ra, Lord Sage himself, you know, and mighty family, you know, mighty Empress Isis, and you know, all internationally, as I said, you know, give thanks to the love and give thanks to the strength. Right here amongst us, the Honorable Priest Vincent Isaac and the Honorable Priest Jaman, who is with us from the Congress, and just love and majesty, man, to all ones in Trinidad, of course, the Congress in Trinidad, and even all Boba Shanti in Trinidad, you know, in general, you know what I mean. You have the Congress of Wharf Trace for sure, all the ones keeping the strength there, the Honorable Priest Bertrand, and Priest Joko, Honorable Priest Solomon, Honorable My Lord, and give thanks to the Honorable Priest Javan as well, cutting and clearing, My Lord, renting and tearing all obstacles out of the way, Priest Barry and Priest Naya, and just give thanks, Priest Imesley, wherever he may be in the earth, thanks for the strength, and Priest Akil, wherever he may be in the earth, Priest Kello, and all ones, just give thanks. Priest Royal, just give thanks. Priest Elijah, My Lord, we give thanks for the priesthood, all power and might, going through the earth in this resurrection time, in this heart of Lent. Most names that I've called as people I've interacted with already, and I give thanks for all the love and all the building. The man that you see here is not one man. The man that you see here is not one man. The man that you see here is not one man. And for me to express this level of love internationally to the world, it would be remiss of me. Not only my youths, obviously, that has really given me a mighty strength, but the womb where these youths came from, the Honorable Empress Divine. Give thanks as well, all even in this resurrection moment. So, in general, glorify the Black Christ in flesh, the Holy Three in One and the One in Three, the Prophet and the Priest and the King. In this moment, Congress moving on. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari, blessed love, to give thanks, in all doings and saying.